Hello and welcome to another episode of Millennial TeaV. We are your hosts, Candace, Liz, and Adrian, and today is a special episode because we also have Miss Jill Badlato joining
Friend
us
of
for
the
the second
podcast.
yes, for the second time on our podcast. And if you don't know, Jill has a really big platform on TikTok and Instagram where she talks about everything reality TV, especially from the millennial era, my favorite. And if you're not following her, you definitely should be. If you haven't listened to our first episode with her, you can check out our season 3 premiere episode titled The Kendra and Cami Era anywhere you podcast. You can also follow Jill on Instagram at Jill Badlato. Yes, that's right?
Yep.
Okay.
You got it.
And you can also follow her on TikTok at the same. Before we get into it, I just want to remind you guys to please give us a follow on YouTube and Instagram for special extras, videos, and content. We are Millennial TeaV Podcast on YouTube and just Millennial TeaV on Instagram. So Jill, tell us about your experience watching The Hills and discovering all that good stuff. I know you watched Laguna, but did you go straight to The Hills after?
I went straight there, did not stop.
Did not pass go, did not collect $200.
Yep, just went straight there. I love The Hills because I was in college when The Hills aired, so me and my girlfriends would get together, our roommates, and just sit and watch The Hills with really cheap wine and just
I love
we
that.
loved it. It was just such good memories.
Where were you living at that time in college?
I went to UCF in Orlando, University of Central Florida. Yeah, so I feel like the breakup of Heidi and Lauren was the worst breakup of my life.
I know.
You know,
it hurt, didn't it?
We shed real tears.
Mm-hmm.
Were your 20s anything like their time on the show?
No. I mean, they were so fabulous. They were what we wanted to be, you know?
They were 30 when they were 20.
Yeah. I mean, they felt so grown up. It was they were aspirational, you know?
They were everything, just be honest.
I know. They were going out and drinking these really expensive drinks, and I was at a frat party with Natty Light, you know? And I was this is not a Cosmo.
You're in some douchebag's basement, trying to see through the marijuana smoke. Yeah. I know, and they're at Ladue.
Right, exactly. Lauren Conrad isn't doing flip cup and dirty beer pong, you know? She's at Hyde.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I remember that feeling of I'm in a stupid house party and I could be PR girling it up. You know what I
mean? Yes, for real.
She's working in the Teen Vogue closets, and we were working at a sushi restaurant, McDonald's, you know.
It's awful. I'm working at a California fusion Mexican restaurant, and what I should be doing is working at Teen Vogue or Bolt House.
Duh.
For real.
And that was the dream. You wanted that big girl job. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
And meanwhile, you're do you want fries with that?
Yeah. She's driving her BMW up to her new LA apartment, and I was oh,
I know.
Mine is campus living. Why can't I be in an apartment in LA?
I know. God, it's painful. Ugh. That's why we're all here today, right? Because we just don't want to be that 20-year-old Lauren Conrad. So we start off with a Lauren recap, and she tells us that Teen Vogue sent her all the way to New York City just to deliver a dress. Heidi dropped out of school to land her dream job. Only problem was she started to realize she actually had to work. I actually laughed out loud because I genuinely, before this, was oh, she's being nice. No, she's not. I thought because it was she landed her dream job, and I was oh, that's sweet, because she's never nice about it.
No.
And then 2 seconds later, it's backhanded, so I thought that was funny. Back in LA, her jet lag was just kicking in when she got a surprising phone call from Jason, and now she had to deal with this on top of everything else.
Jet lag? She was there for an hour. Okay.
Well, she took a red-eye flight, though. Remember,
That's true.
she was like
That's
up
true.
all
It
night,
still messes you up.
She's tired. I'm not sure that's jet lag, but
We don't know if she slept at all.
Yeah, and that's true. Like, we actually don't know if she literally directly got back on a plane. Like,
That's
is
true.
so
Yeah,
crazy.
We have no idea. Yeah.
I would love to know. That was
I know.
savage.
Yeah, what did you think about that? We talked about it last week, obviously, because that was the episode, but what did you think about the whole delivering a dress and then getting directly back on a plane?
I felt so bad for her because didn't she kind of think that she was like going to go to the show?
Yeah.
And she like, I think she like asked Heidi like what she should wear or
Yeah.
something. And then they're like, no, you get back. Like,
Yeah.
you're going back to LA. Like,
It's embarrassing.
I felt bad for her, yeah. I felt so bad. And then she like had to go to school and
Poor thing, I know. And like, you want to sit at a fashion show. That's huge.
yeah.
Poor
Oh, yeah.
Lauren. Poor Lauren.
But good for her. She did not throw a tantrum because if that was Heidi,
No. Yes.
freaking
Oh my
know
God.
that she
You're
would have
right,
been
yeah.
pissed.
You guys,
Mhm.
Heidi, this episode, I cannot.
It's so good.
I was like, everyone knows you have to pay your dues at a job. Like, we'll talk about it, but I just like, it was just irking
Cracks me up.
this episode so bad. So the first scene is at the villas, our fave, and we're at home with Lauren and Heidi. And Heidi's in the kitchen, and Lauren's just hanging out in her bedroom reading. And then Lauren calls out to Heidi and asks, "How do you get rid of hiccups?" And Heidi tells her, "Drink water upside down, put a pencil in your mouth." And Lauren immediately makes a what the fuck face. And she's like, "Is that possible?" And then the doorbell rings and Heidi answers it to a flower delivery. And he asks Heidi if she's Lauren. And Heidi responds, "I will be Lauren. Lauren, I think you got a tree." I'm like, "That's me." I'm like, "They're mine. I'm Lauren." Absolutely. So Lauren comes out to this gorgeous tall flower arrangement, and Heidi asks her, "Who gave you this, your mother?" And honestly, looking at that arrangement, I am cringing at how much it probably cost Jason. Because flower arrangements are so expensive, even the small ones, and that thing was ginormous.
Huge. Oh my goodness.
How is she supposed to take care of that? You know, like, what do you do with that? That's what I was wondering.
You guys,
The big branches sticking out of it.
he probably spent like hundreds of dollars on that. Like, it's
Yeah.
very, like, I've never gotten a flower arrangement that extensive.
No.
It had a really
I
sad
wouldn't want
satin bow, though.
I
Like,
know,
the
it
bow
did.
was like making me laugh. It was really sad.
It didn't look like a love arrangement. It kind of looked like a funeral.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it looked like funeral flowers, but I'm like, okay, Jason, like, if you're gonna do it, do the damn thing, I guess. Like,
A grand gesture. There it is.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So Lauren starts investigating who it's from, and she finds the card, and Lauren just hands Heidi the card, which reads, "To Lauren, love, Jason. I miss you." A man of many words, as always. And Heidi says, "Of course he misses you, but you don't miss him." And she says, do you miss him?" And Lauren doesn't answer, and she just kind of looks up at the flower arrangement, and we're all like, "Ugh, Lauren, why?" Did you guys think they were going to get back together at this point when you watched it for the first time?
I want to say yes, only because I think that like the teasers and stuff totally
Mhm.
teased them back together already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of
That's
knew.
what I remember too. Yeah.
It wasn't like a surprise.
Right.
I think they were also like in the tabloids.
Mm-hmm.
I think their relationship was in the tabloids that they like had gotten back together. So I think
Yeah.
it was like we were like seeing how it happens, you know?
I feel like, they weren't like showing up to award shows already together
I
at
think
this
so.
point.
I think
Probably.
so.
I think so too. I feel like it was very like we already knew, but then it was backtracking, which is most reality TV these days.
Mhm.
But back then it felt so much more in real time than it does now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel
Yeah.
like we're always like months and months behind now, and back then it felt like it was happening close to real time.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So then we are at Teen Vogue with Whitney and Lauren looks super cute again with her pink bow tank top and classic pearls. Just so chic. And Lauren asks Whitney if she's dating, and Whitney replies, "No, not really. What about you?" And Lauren shakes her head, and Whitney asks if there were any boys from Laguna, and Lauren tells her that she had one, but they broke up right before she moved. And Lauren tells her it's weird because he moved to LA too. And Whitney asks what his name is, and Lauren tells her that it's Jason, but they broke up. Whitney asks if something bad happened, and she tells her that she ran a fashion show, and while they were at it, he kissed his ex-girlfriend, and she saw. Like, we need a recap of this.
Whitney, go watch Laguna Beach.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
This was the freaking kiss heard around the world.
Yeah,
Like, we
for
do
real.
not need a recap of this. Everybody, this lives rent-free in our brains.
Seriously.
I saw you kiss her. Lives rent-free in my brain.
You know what's so awkward, I feel like, for Whitney to film, though? Because she said she watched every episode of Laguna, but she had to be like, what? Who is your boyfriend? What happened?
That's awful. Because
Yeah.
you know, if we were the Whitney, we would also be like, oh my God.
I
know. You know?
For real.
But I can't imagine how exciting it would have been to have never watched Laguna Beach and just watched The Hills, and you're listening to this story, and then you realize that was caught on camera, and you can go back and watch it.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
so good.
Like,
Yes.
that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Of course,
If I would
And
we'd
they
all
cut
already seen it.
everything.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
So Lauren says that she thinks she wanted more of an apology out of him and didn't get it. She says she still had feelings for him, but just couldn't forgive him. And Whitney says, you knew in your right mind you weren't just going to let it slide. And Lauren says that she would have if he had put in more effort.
I'm so surprised by that because she really looked pissed in Laguna and like she wasn't ready to forgive him ever. But I guess she was doing that hoping that he would
Fight.
give a bigger apology.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think she wanted him to fight for her, like really fight for her. And
Totally.
he was just kind of like, I screwed up. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Like, you know, and like,
Yeah.
I also think she's looking at it through a different lens because time has passed and like now she's forgiven him a little bit. And so it's easier to be like, yeah, like I would forgive him versus like when it just happened and she was like, yeah, no, never. But like she's
Yeah.
had time to miss him and like not have a boyfriend. Now he's in LA. Like it just is going to feel different than it did in Laguna. Especially because she was like embarrassed in front of all of her childhood friends.
Yeah.
I know.
So
Yeah,
bad.
your family.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So bad. Oh, Jessica. I love her so much. I just can't defend her on that one.
I still think it should have taken a lot more than like an expensive tree to like get her back after what he did. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he did do his due diligence here, though. I feel like he was like really trying, like with gestures. I don't know.
yeah.
I need
Yeah.
I
more
didn't
words
feel
from
that way.
him.
Yeah.
He's not-
when they meet up, he was just old Jason again of like, so what do you want to
I
talk
know.
about?
Yeah.
I know.
And I'm like, are you prepared to like? I thought he would have like a big speech prepared or something.
I
We'll get
know.
to that point, but I
yeah.
was very disappointed.
I mean, the card to Lauren.
Yeah.
Love Jason. I miss you.
I know.
Okay.
Oh
Like,
my God.
he's not a man of very many words, okay? But we talked about this last season with Alex and Rocky, okay?
Mhm.
And you guys defended Alex and said that was okay.
Wait, I don't think I did.
I don't
You
remember.
didn't?
No.
Oh. Maybe I just thought you guys did. You're both like, no, Candace, you're nuts. But I feel like it's very similar to Alex. Like, they just don't know how to express their emotions.
Which doesn't make it okay, though, especially when
No.
he screwed up so royally. Like, it's so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
She deserved a much bigger apology.
Absolutely, 100%, 1,000%. I don't think she should have ever taken him back, but that's just me.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I get it. Like, he was cute for the time and the era, you know? Like, he was a bad boy. He had so much, like, sex appeal for that
He
era, you know?
Mhm.
And, like, sometimes a good girl just wants to be bad.
Yeah. That was Lauren.
Clip teaser for our episode.
I know.
Ooh, yes.
It's a good episode name, too.
That is a good episode name, yeah.
So then we see Heidi at work and she's getting some filing jobs and she's answering the phone and she looks really busy. So someone comes over with 7, I counted them, huge binders and tells her that he needs her to file these in the library. And she looks so thrilled about that. So then the office manager, Grace, comes over and she asks her about the phone calls. And Heidi says that she hasn't even started them. And the office manager says, well, she needs them now, girly. I love this office manager. She was like micromanaging, but also like trying to be sweet about it. So she asks her if she's checked the list, and Heidi says no, and she's still answering the phone. And then we hear her say on the phone, I don't know. I don't work in the clubs. I'm just returning the phone calls. She was not on the phone, right? Like that was definitely a line that they made her say.
I'm sure.
Or whoever was on the phone was like prompted to ask her something
so
that would give her that answer. Yeah.
So then the same guy who brought over the original 7 huge binders is bringing over more huge binders, and Heidi just looks totally overwhelmed. And okay, Heidi is playing glorified receptionist here, and I will always say that the receptionist is the hardest working person in the building because they literally get everybody's like leftovers, and like they basically just are everybody's bitch. They're the bitch of the office. So like I totally understand her frustration, especially because it's not what she thought she was going to be doing. And being a receptionist is like pretty hard. Like it really is. Like you do have a lot to do, and you don't get paid enough for it. And she wasn't getting paid anything for it. Was she? No, it's a real job. So she was technically
it's a real job.
yeah. It's not an internship, but I mean, she's probably not getting paid very much for it, and it's absolutely not what she wanted to be doing. So I kind of like, I don't know. I kind of get it.
I do not. You know why? Because if you want to get a job in this industry that you like want so badly, like this is the kind of thing that you're going to have to start off doing.
Just, and like, you do have to pay your dues.
Yeah, filing stuff, like getting lunches. That's just like what you have to do. So like
absolutely
do it with a smile on your face, because you are not going to get hired if you have a little bitch face going on.
I totally agree with you. I would have done all of this with a smile on my face and asked for more work
and
when I was done.
For more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I get her disappointment and that like, what am I doing here? Like I totally get that. But at the same time, yeah, Heidi, this is normal.
Yeah.
Like you're 19, 20 years old. This is normal. You're supposed to be doing the grunt work.
Yeah, when I went this summer before I started college, I like worked that summer, and it was like my first like corporate job. And when I went in for the interview, he was like, okay, yeah, like it was very like laid back, and he was like, okay, so it's full time, and I was like, okay, great. So what are those hours? He's like 9 to 5, and I was like, wait, like 9 in the morning to 5 o'clock at night?
Like, so you've been
hiding. So I've been there. I mean, granted, I was 17, so, you know, I was a little young, but like, I get like the shock of it, I guess.
I mean, that is, like, that's my whole day.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
it's a shock to become an adult.
But also, she like skipped, you know, the college portion. Didn't want to go to college, you know. So it's like you've got your foot in the door. Like
absolutely, you have to work for it. And I mean, again, I would have been doing all of this with a huge smile on my face and then asked for more, because it seems like a really amazing opportunity. Like Bolt House looks legit.
Yeah.
And like I feel like she's really lucky to have the opportunity, but she wants to be in the clubs. So then we see Lauren at home, and she comes home in the cutest outfit, long sleeve black t-shirt with a cute floral print, like green blue skirt, and her hair is like lightly curled, and she's got this like shiny black headband in her hair. Like, where were you? And why do you look so flawless? Classic Lauren, though. So freaking cute. So she puts her things down and checks her messages. To no one's surprise, it's Jason. And he says, Lauren, hey, what's up? It's Jason again. Haven't heard back from you. Just seeing if you want to get together. Maybe grab something to eat. Catch up on old times. All right, give me a call. A man of many words again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the catch up on old times. Like,
I love that he called the landline. Like,
Yes.
I
you
know.
like, I know that Jason, like, man a few words, and he still did not do nearly enough. But he called the landline and he left a home message. That's like,
it is a big deal. Back then.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
You could have called the cell. Like,
I know. And it's
chose the home
how
phone.
funny that we used to have like answering machines that you listen
gosh.
to out
that
loud.
everyone could hear.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. And then like the house phone would ring, and if you were home and just didn't get to the phone, the person would just leave the message loudly for everyone to hear. Like, that is so crazy.
It's wild. It's like barbaric.
Yes.
It's not okay.
Absolutely barbaric. I was watching something the other day, and the girl had a beeper.
Oh, man.
And I was like, oh my God, pagers. Like,
yeah. My dad had one.
Yeah. My sister had one. It was see-through, like blue. And I loved it. I used to play with it all the time because we were 14 years apart. So by the time she had it, I was like, a child. But I used to play with it all the time. Like it was my phone or something. I don't know.
So would they text on that thing?
No.
You could say small things.
Yeah. Well, for my dad's, it was like I would call the number and then certain codes of numbers would mean different things. And so he was always like, if it's really, only if it's super urgent, put 911. And I would always do 911.
Oh my God.
And then he'd be like, what do you need? What is it? And I'm like, can you come pick me up from my friend's house? Like it was just it was not 911.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I wish my parents had beepers because they would always like, and it used to drive me crazy. They would just like not answer the phone when I called.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be like, when they called me back, I'd be like, I could be in a ditch. Like, I could have been kidnapped and you didn't answer the phone. And I'm like, no, really, but I'm done at school.
I want to know, like, how did everybody know, like, what, like, 427 meant or, like, 6...
I know.
Like, we didn't really have social media. You know what I mean? So it's like, how did that get around?
The fact that you used to have to just, like, make plans with somebody, and if they didn't show up, then they just didn't show up, and you had no idea what happened.
I know.
Yeah.
Would you just go home?
Yeah.
Like,
and how long do you wait?
Yeah. What if somebody's supposed to pick you up at your house? So you just, like, wait, like... You know? Like, what if they got in a car accident?
Yeah, exactly. Did they get in an accident? If they never pick up your phone call again, you're like, hello.
It's crazy.
Like, dating must have been wild. They actually stood you up. Like, it's crazy because it wasn't even that long ago.
No,
really not.
No.
I'm getting a beeper, and that's how people are going to have to reach me from now
on. Bringing it back.
Yep.
I'd love that.
Me too.
Page me. Beat me. So Lauren just stares at the phone, and then I think she deletes the message. But later we see Lauren putting makeup on and getting ready. She puts her hair up in a ponytail and puts on her pearls and chunky headband with some heels. And I'm just like, yes, this is a Lauren Conrad date outfit. For sure.
But did anyone think it was so ugly, though?
The heels were really ugly.
Like the pearls didn't really go with that outfit, although it is very Lauren Conrad. Like she really was wearing pearls at the time. Yes. But she has this like white cardigan over her black outfit, and it's so ugly. But I've so worn that before.
Oh yes, yeah,
I've worn that exact outfit before. Yeah. Absolutely. Probably with the pearls too, because of Lauren Conrad.
And the headband.
Oh yeah, 100%.
This black headband that Lauren has on, she wears it literally in every scene for a few episodes, which I find kind of funny because you never see like reality girls doing that now. Like no one wears the same outfit twice, does their hair the same way twice.
She was genuinely wearing her own closet. Like
it's so refreshing. This is like the first sort of like taste of reality that we had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was genuinely like wearing her own clothes, and it was her own style, which was what was so
makeup,
awesome about it.
Like all of it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, doing her own makeup. Yeah, that was genuine. I was not thrilled about her idea to put her hair up for a date, but like, whatever.
She had a long day at school.
Yeah, it's fine. We're gonna let it slide. So then we see Lauren walking into a restaurant called Pan e Vino, and she walks in and sits at a table with Jason. And it seems awkward because they just kind of both stare at each other for a little bit.
She doesn't even hug him. Like, he doesn't even stand up to say hi to her.
She just
So
sits down.
weird.
And it's very Laguna Beach, the looks that they exchange.
Yes.
And then out of nowhere, Lauren just goes, "So why did you call me?" So Jason tells her, it's just been a while and he wanted to see how she was and he misses hanging out. So Lauren says, "You just wanted to hang out?" And Jason says, "Well, we left on such a hard note." And she says, "I was angry." And he says, "I know you were." Like, this is very deep conversation, you guys. And I was just at the edge of my seat with bated breath. So, Jason says that after a while, he just stopped calling her and wanted to see if she kind of settled down and wasn't so pissed. You kissed another girl in front of me, so you waited to see if I settled down?
I know, he's like, I was going to let you cool off and stop being so angry, and then I was going to try again.
What?
Oh my God.
Basically, I didn't want to hear you, like, bitch about it.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I let you, like, go through it, and now I'm coming back and testing the waters.
I just waited to see what was, if you'd calm down.
Yeah.
I was, like, so irritated by that. And especially because he didn't even try to hide it. I just wanted to see if you weren't going to be so pissed. Like,
yeah.
I know, it's so funny that he doesn't even try to hide it. He's like, this is what I did, and here it is.
Yeah. And I can tell that Lauren is like, "Oh my God, really?" Like, And she's like, "So that's why you kept calling?" And then Jason kind of redeems himself and says, "Because I cared about you, and then it just got to the point where you didn't want to talk for a while." It's like, okay, he was giving her space would have been the correct way to say that.
But I'm curious if she wanted space. Like, did she
I don't think she did. I think she wanted him to keep calling.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, she wanted him to, like, chase her a little bit, and he kind of dropped the ball.
He couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Like, let me just say this. All girls want to be chased a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, we want to know that you care enough and that you don't want to lose us. But there's a balance. Like, don't be weird and creepy about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
But we all, like, a little bit of chase is nice.
Yeah. The tree was too late. Like, send the tree a little earlier.
Yeah. Yes. Send the tree back in Laguna.
Yeah, exactly.
So Lauren says, "Well, it was a hard situation. Here's a guy who I really like who's done something really terrible to me, but I still like him, but I can't be with him, so it's almost harder. You know what I mean? You kept telling me that I was different, that what we had was different, but then you went and did the same thing. I didn't think it was just something that was going to happen over the summer. I thought it was something that was going to last longer." And Jason tells her that that was the reason that he was so upset, is because he wanted it to last longer as well, and that he didn't know what he was thinking. Lauren lets out a long, dramatic sigh, and Jason says that he was thinking, since they both live in LA, that they could start fresh. And Lauren just takes a sip of her drink and stares at him as the music plays.
Can we just talk about how Jason looks younger now than he did on the hills?
Okay.
Yeah.
On Laguna Beach, that man looked 30 years old.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And he looks 40 now.
He looks amazing now. Like, I mean, back then I was like, he's the hottest man I've ever seen in my life.
Of course.
Now looking back, I'm like the guys that, like, I was into in college, that, like, I had things with, looked like babies next to him.
Like, literally... Kelsey, my best friend, always says, it's like, you're watching these kids go to high school, and then you look and you're like, who is that old man? Like, hanging out with them. And I'm like, it's so true. He looks so old.
He looks so old. It's wild.
In real life, he finally looks his age, but it's taken him, like, 40 years to get there, you know?
Yes. That is so true.
On Laguna, he looks about mid-30s, and on the hills, he looks about 42.
Yeah, like, you look at him, like, next to, like, Stephen Coletti. Like,
right?
Stephen looks like his child.
Yeah, I think that Jason is very, very lucky that Lauren gave him a second chance, and once a cheater, always a cheater in my eyes.
Especially when his attitude hasn't really changed.
No,
like,
and I just,
you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, but you know what? For the sake of this recap, I'm going to root for them, okay? I know what happens, but I'm still going to root for them. So back at Bolt House, Brent is holding a meeting about the Palms opening up a new tower. He says that they're going to do a weekend in Vegas at the Palms with a late night after party and a suite with a jacuzzi that's up to the window, glass, and Heidi is smiling huge, as well as a lot of other employees. And then Brent then says, Heidi, we'd take you to Vegas, but you're not 21. And Heidi's smile immediately drops.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
They edited that so good.
Hilarious.
I mean, I would be bummed too, but like at the same time, I wouldn't have expected to go if I wasn't 21.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do anything in Vegas if
Yeah.
you're not 21.
You know what, though? But I'd be like, put me outside the party. I'll man the door. Like, I don't
Yeah.
have to go in, but just
Yes.
bring me,
Yeah.
damn it.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like one thing about like when I was watching The Hills, like when I was that age, I was like, God, that sucks. They can't use fake IDs because
Yeah.
who knows like who
Mhm.
Lauren Conrad and Heidi Montag is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Right.
how did they get around that? Like that would suck.
I think MTV was getting them in.
Yeah.
And then of course they wanted them in because that brought more people in. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Because like everybody
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
see the Hills cast or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love that MTV fully like showed them going clubbing and drinking, even though they were like clearly not 21.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
couldn't they get prosecuted or something?
I know.
Like by what's on television? Like,
Yeah.
very
It was
odd.
a different world back then.
Oh, yeah. So back at Teen Vogue, Blaine walks in and asks Whitney to make some copies, and then Lauren is left alone, suspiciously. And we then see Jason walking into the building with flowers, and he goes to the front desk and asks for Lauren, and the receptionist sends him right to her, which was like scary for me for a second, because I'm like, some guy walks in and asks for somebody, and you just say, oh, sure, she's right down there.
That doesn't
That was
happen.
So weird.
No,
yeah.
I'm like, what if
nobody
he had like a
walked
gun?
him back there?
Yeah.
Like that's what if he was like her abusive ex-boyfriend? Like
Totally.
I'm
Gosh,
very
yeah.
concerned that she's like, oh, she's straight that way.
Right.
Like, so he just walks into her office at Teen Vogue because they just let anybody walk in. And he says peekaboo and gives her flowers, and Lauren is super excited and she says thank you, and he asks her if she has a lunch soon, and then she says she's gonna go ask Blaine really quick, and then Whitney walks in and Lauren introduces them, and Lauren asks Whitney, do we get lunch breaks? And Whitney's like, I'm not sure. I'm like, they've never had a lunch break?
Yeah.
Is this like your first day of working?
I know.
Yeah.
The fact that Whitney says, I'm not sure, too. Like, you clearly don't take lunches. Whitney tells Jason that she wants flowers, and Jason tells her next time he'll bring her flowers. And then Lauren leaves to lunch with Jason, because Blaine obviously said she could go take a lunch. And they go to, like, a sit-down cafe, and I'm like, how long is your lunch? Because I don't have that long of a lunch.
She's not brown bagging it.
No. So they sit down at Maison de Café, and Lauren says that she's cold, and Jason says he has a jacket in the car if she wants it. But she says no thank you, because he's very gentlemanly. I think it's cute when guys offer you their jackets.
But it's in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have to go get it.
Yeah.
He's like, you can go get it if you want to.
Yeah.
So Jason asks her if she wants to try some of his, and Lauren tells him that she never really liked salmon, and Jason looks very shocked by this. And Lauren says when she was little, her dad used to go fishing about twice a week because he was obsessed, and she used to go with him and get excited when she caught dinner. And Jason says that he hasn't been fishing in so long, but he's going to get that boat. And Lauren says, Jay, what are you going to do with a boat? And Jason says, take you fishing. So debonair, you know, take you fishing, baby. So Lauren laughs and says, what was that? And Jason says, I don't know. they're teenagers, like, right? Like, this is, like, I can't.
Yeah.
So then the two of them exchange several longing looks, and as the check is brought out, and Jason pays, and Lauren thanks him, and then she says that she doesn't want to go back to work, so Jason asks her what she's doing later, and she says nothing, and Jason asks her if she wants to go to dinner or a movie or something, and Lauren tells him, maybe.
You know, I know we've seen Jason already, but God, his chin strap, like, beard was so bad in this scene.
It was so dark.
So dark. And I'm like, ew, throughout the whole thing.
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
And
It's nasty.
it's kind of cute that we really did catch them in this moment of them not being, like, fully back together. And you can feel, like, the awkwardness of them not, like, holding hands as they were walking away or, like, having a kiss goodbye or kiss hello. It was really, like, we caught them, like, at the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so awkward.
It's so awkward.
Is it always this awkward when you aren't, like, with somebody or just dating? Like,
but,
I feel like
wanting
it's
to get
yeah,
together.
I feel like it's really
Like when you're not sure of like what the status is.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I've never really dated like that. Like, dated to be in a relationship. I've always just been in a relationship and, like, gone on dates in the relationship. So I've never really...
But how'd you get to the relationship, Candace?
Yeah.
We were always, like, friends first. And then it just, like, you know, like, it would just natural
happened.
turn into something else. Like, once or twice in my early 20s, I might have gone on, like, one date. But then, like, it's always, like, you go to dinner and then he kisses you at the end and it's not awkward. You know what I mean? But, like, I've never done, like, we're continuously hanging out together to see if we enjoy each other's company, like, type of thing. So I don't know. Like, it just, is it always that awkward? It is.
Yes.
Yes.
Because there's always the, like, are you gonna, like, is this the date that you're gonna, like, kiss and, like, take it to the next level? Do we actually like each other? Do we want to go there? Do we not? So there's just always awkwardness.
Yeah, and I feel like it's even more awkward for them because they have already done those things.
They know that they're getting together. It's just, like, when it was going to happen.
Yeah. But they were very, like, I don't know. I mean, he was respectful. It's not like he, like, immediately assumed that they were... So, good for Jason.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jason looks like a slob, but he's not sleazy.
He does look like a slob kebab, though.
He does.
For sure.
Although, did you see Lauren's jeans in that scene?
I didn't. I
Oh my
didn't
gosh.
pay attention.
They were, like, rolled up capris. They were, like, so tight. I think they were 7 for All Mankind. I think, like, that was the logo on them.
7 jeans.
Oh my God, those jeans. Like, I would have absolutely worn them.
I know.
You know,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
no, I'm not judging her.
No.
I'm just like, whoa, that is like 2000s.
We laugh at all the, like, capri length, like, jeans that they wear now because we're like, we would never now, but it was so stylish back in the day.
Yes.
Yes.
Back at Bolt House, Elodie and Heidi go into the bathroom.
Elodie! It's our first time seeing her,
It's
isn't
our
it?
first time seeing Elodie, and
Elodie.
she is... I've always thought Elodie was so pretty. I don't... It's not, like, classic pretty. She just has a really interesting face. Like, she's just... And she dresses very nice for herself. Like, I just thought she was always very put together. But Elodie asks Heidi if she's okay, and Heidi says that she is, but she doesn't really get this company. And she said there's so many cool things... Yeah, I don't know. She says there's so many cool things going on and she's not a part of it. And she tells Elodie that she wishes she could do some of the cool stuff, like work at the nightclubs or something. She says that it's not what she thought it was going to be. And off camera, we hear, I quit school for this. So Elodie says there's a starting part where you just have to start and pay your dues. Elodie says that she paid her dues, and then she says, do you know how many girls want my job? Do you know how many guys want my job? Pay your dues and you'll be able to work the clubs. You'll be able to work with me and Kristen and Grace, and it's so much fun and you'll really enjoy it. Elodie asks her if she was thinking about quitting, but Heidi doesn't answer. I think that Elodie is being a good coworker.
Yeah, she's right.
Yeah.
She is right. And if I was like, okay, I don't know how old Elodie was at this time, 25, 30, but like if I had paid my dues and I was like a manager at this company and a young little intern was coming into the office bitching about filing papers, I would be so pissed, okay?
Same.
She's being so nice just to entertain this conversation.
Well, I think she's happy to be on camera, but
I can't tell with Elodie though, because she's not like outwardly like thirsty to be on camera,
No.
but like she definitely wants to.
Low key though, I feel like Elodie always hated Heidi. Like
I did too.
I always got the vibes that Elodie just could not stand Heidi, but she would like pretend to be her friend to get on camera. Like,
but she wasn't nice about it either, though. Like on
No.
camera, she would like slight her or like
Yes.
shade her.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right.
but I'm an Elodie fan.
Same.
Like, I like her.
Me too. Oh yeah.
I feel like she said the things to Heidi that like we all wanted to say. Like when it came to her
Absolutely.
relationship with Spencer, when it came to the job, like she said what we all were thinking.
The real voice of reason.
Yes.
Yes.
The wise one.
Yes. And in Elodie's last episode, when she sets Heidi up, if you know, you know, I was like, yes, Elodie, yes.
So good.
It's so bitchy, but it's so good. So back at Teen Vogue, Lauren is back from lunch, and Whitney asks, how was lunch? Any sparks flying? And Lauren tells her that there's always sparks because there were sparks. And Whitney says, that's so sweet that he brought you flowers. Lauren then realizes that Whitney put her flowers in a vase for her, and Whitney says, flowers are not a friendly thing. Okay. Thanks, Whit. Then Lauren references her Laguna days by trying to remember what her dad used to tell her, which is, my dad always told me flowers mean I'm sorry and chocolates mean I love you. I love that this gets referenced again. It's so sweet.
I know. But I've literally never heard of this anywhere other than from Lauren Conrad.
Me either.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me either. I think her dad made it up.
Yeah.
So Whitney asks her if she thinks there might be something there again, and that Jason is obviously trying to somewhat impress her. And Lauren says, you know when you like someone and it's completely different than anyone you've ever liked before? And she says if she doesn't give it another chance, she's always gonna wonder. And Whitney tells her that there are just some people you're never gonna get over. Why does it have to be Jason? Why can't it be Steven?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Adrian's over me.
No, I really wish that like after
do you?
Jason left that Steven would have come in and like picked it back up with Lauren and like we could have seen them get together on the hill.
Dude,
that would
would that
so
not
awesome.
have been full
Amazing.
circle? Would that not have been freaking
Oh, yeah.
amazing?
Yeah.
They teased us. I mean, he came on for a little bit, but that
I'm
was
still
nothing.
so bitter about that episode.
I hate that episode.
They played me so hard, you guys.
Same.
The trailers, I was so mad. My little Laguna heart was beating so fast inside of my chest. I was like, yes, it's happening, and then nothing happens. So back at the villas, we see Lauren lounging by the pool, texting on her sidekick, which is so 2000s. It makes me want to die. And Heidi comes out in a swimsuit with the sides cut out of it. And Lauren tells her that she's going to get a strip down her stomach in that suit. And Heidi's like, remember that day I really did? And Lauren tells her it was a cute tan line. I actually really like that swimsuit, but yeah, I would be like so not into the tan line.
That cut was very popular at the time, and I just keep thinking about like Pussycat dolls, like wearing that all the time, you know, in their music videos.
You're so right, yeah. Heidi asks her who she's texting, and Lauren says it's Jason. And Heidi asks her what he's saying, and Lauren says, just hi. And Heidi says, I didn't know you were talking to him. And Lauren just kind of nods at her, and Heidi asks, why didn't I know about this? And Lauren tells her that there wasn't really anything to know. And Heidi says, well, now is it something to know? And Lauren doesn't reply. She's being super shady. Like, did you guys feel like Lauren was being super shady? I was like, she's like so evasive right now, and she doesn't need to be. Like, just say you're talking to Jason again. It's fine. Like, Heidi literally doesn't really care.
She's probably like embarrassed too. I don't know. That she's talking to him when she knows that like Heidi probably doesn't like him. Or that like, you know, he cheated on her. Like,
I guess I would do the same thing, like, because I'm embarrassed, but I was just like, that's your best friend. Like, you know?
I would be so upset that I, like, didn't know already.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like, I'd be like, I do not care about the cameras. Excuse me? Like, what? You didn't tell me? Like, I was not CC'd on this message? Like,
Exactly.
what?
Why didn't you call me so I could help you craft every message back to him? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, like... I'd have been so mad. Heidi took that so well.
She did, truly. So Heidi asks how the city is treating him, and Lauren says, well, I think he's having fun. And Heidi says, of course he is. Is he seeing other girls? Lauren says she doesn't know and that they don't really talk about that.
Because it's not happening. He's trying to go for
Yeah.
her,
Yeah.
so duh.
I know, but you don't really talk about if he's seeing other girls. It's kind of important.
I feel like it's a heavily implied. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but the way she responds, instead of like, no, I don't think he's seeing anyone else, is we don't really talk about that. So it's like she's okay with him dating other girls or something. Like, I don't know.
No, I didn't
like
take
that.
it that way. No.
I just hate this whole conversation. So Heidi tells her, just be careful with Jason. And Lauren tells her that she has her guard up this time and that it's fine. And Heidi says, as long as you know. Lauren tells her, I do. Heidi says, I just don't want to see you ever get hurt again. And Lauren tells her, it's different this time, you know? And Heidi says, only you know. I will kill him if he does it again. It's a good friend standing on business.
Yes.
Dude, Heidi is like the best friend ever. Like, when I watch this, I'm like, she is letting Lauren like learn from her own mistakes. She's just listening and letting Lauren like, you know, hide whatever she wants from her, but also telling her whenever she's ready, and Heidi doesn't get angry. Heidi just supports her, and you damn know that if the roles were reversed, Lauren would be pissed. Okay.
Oh, pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Pissed.
and she would be like berating Heidi, being like, you know he cheated on you. You know he's going to cheat on you again. Don't you dare get back in a relationship with him. So Heidi's just, now I feel kind of bad. I'm like, okay, maybe in future seasons, like, was Lauren too hard on her? I don't know.
Listen, people on the subreddit are always talking about rewatching this show and seeing Lauren differently now.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of nervous about this rewatch because I felt the same way about Heidi's reaction. Was just like, oh, that was actually kind of like really good. Just
That's
like,
so
I'm here.
good.
I
So
will be
mature.
here for you if he fucks you over, but like, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that is really sweet. Versus like Lauren being like, I will never talk to you again.
And her being like, you're quitting school.
Yeah.
I know.
Beauty school dropout.
Yeah.
She's so mean.
So mean, you know.
So mean.
Maybe our impression will change after this rewatch.
I think back to all the times that Spencer's like, and Heidi's just so sweet over here, and Lauren's just a little mean girl. Like, I'm like, maybe there's something to be said about that. Who knows?
I feel like it's definitely both. Rewatching, I'm like, there's definitely, I see where Lauren went wrong. Like, before I was like team Lauren till I die. Like, that was it. And then as an adult, I'm like, she's a little too involved in like Heidi's life, too like trying to tell her what to do.
Isn't that so funny that we were all just like team Lauren till I die? Like that she could not do any wrong.
Yeah, she was.
It's so bad. They really had us by a hook, you know?
Like,
they
know.
were like,
I am curious though, like if Heidi and like Lauren's friendship like started falling out a lot like before the rumor that like the sex tape rumor that came out, like if that, you know, because like that I understand that's like kind of unforgivable, you know, but like was Lauren and her like not good? I like don't remember. I have to like watch that portion of it back.
I don't know if we got to see that part because it was very much just like Spencer coming in and like taking Heidi already.
Yeah.
But I can imagine in real life if like you had a friend that was constantly like talking down to you or like not supportive of you, you would be so quick to run to whoever is giving you that energy.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. The breakdown of this friendship.
I know. It's so sad.
It's so sad.
I know. As much as like we might switch teams and be like more team Heidi, the sex tape rumor,
unforgivable.
Unforgivable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unforgivable.
They lose every single point with that one. So
unforgivable. I mean, okay. I don't know because I don't watch like their podcasts and stuff, but did they ever fully admit that it was them, or are they still denying it? Oh, they did. Okay.
He Spencer admitted it in like an interview a while ago. And he said he swears that like it existed though. Like that it was real and but I don't think that like he just kind of like brought it up out of nowhere. I kind of feel like
I've heard him say that too, but he doesn't go out there being like, I put that rumor out. Like,
right.
He's not owning it in that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he like, I think maybe he might have said like he told someone. I have to go back and read that interview because he talks about it in an interview.
Yeah, we're going to have to do, like, some investigating. We're going to have to go back into the Perez Hilton files, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Do a deep dive.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it just, I remember they were like, Perez was so mean to Lauren.
So mean.
It was
awful.
He was ruthless, like disgusting. And I was like, God, this poor girl. Like, I can't imagine those being the headlines. Like,
I know.
About you.
We talked about trying to maybe get him on the podcast because he was
all
such
scared.
Yeah, but we're all scared.
Yeah.
Because he was such a huge part of that era.
Huge.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So that would be interesting. But I mean, we're all terrified of him.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
I feel like I'm sick. You guys do it.
Yeah. Everyone cancels like at the
So back at Bolt House, Heidi asks Brett if he could help her with her phone because she doesn't have internet or phone and everything looks like it's plugged in, but it's not working.
She like tells her boss, by the way, hey, my internet and phone's not working. Come help me.
The CEO of the company.
Yeah.
He basically ignores her too. Like, no.
Yeah.
So Landon, Brent's real assistant, tells her to order some things and then is too busy to answer questions. She's like, just order this and this and this. And then Heidi's like, but how many of this do I need? And Landon just completely ignores her. She's like, I'm on the phone. Can't talk. So Brent then asks her to get him lunch. But Heidi brings him his lunch, but she forgets his green drink. And then Heidi has to go back and get it. Yeah, the whole getting him lunch thing would piss me off too.
Uber Eats wasn't around then.
I know.
That's true.
I know.
I just want to say really quickly, do you guys watch Southern Charm on Bravo?
Okay,
I've never seen it.
So Landon is a Bravo TV star. She was on Southern Charm, which is on Bravo, and she was on like, she wasn't on the first few seasons, but she was on a good chunk of them.
How
and
cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was like, she went on to do reality television in the Bravo world. Apparently, like the Hills like wanted her to like continue, but she was like too focused on her career or whatever. But she goes on to be a reality TV star.
That's awesome. I'll have to check that out. So we see Heidi outside on the phone with Jordan saying that she can't handle the job and it's harder for her than it is for Jordan. And she says that she is at a job that she absolutely hates. And then off camera we hear, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to quit. Then she tells Jordan that she loves him and hangs up the phone. And see, I really wonder about these scenes because she's obviously talking about something. And I don't know if it's, like, that she has to pretend to be working there or, like, whatever. But she's literally crying. So I'm like, what is she talking about if this job is supposedly fake?
Don't you think she just hates the job, though? Like, how, like, administrative and, like, how annoying she thinks those things are.
But it's not, like, real. She doesn't, like, have to do those things.
I still think MTV kind of tricked her into being like, we're going to give you this awesome job to do, even if it's not legit,
Sure.
you know? And then they're like, surprise, you're filing paperwork and getting lunch. So.
And they probably didn't even promise her much. They'd be like, you're working at a really cool PR company. Like, they do this, but it's not necessarily like, you're doing this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
She just thought she would be.
Yeah, and, like, they needed Heidi to have a job because Lauren had a job.
This could have gone so many ways, though. Like, if Heidi really embraced this and they gave her a better position in a future season and she's actually, like, doing PR and, like, inserting herself in club drama, like, it could have totally gone that way.
I also love that Heidi's on her Motorola Razr.
Yeah, her pink Motorola Razr. Yes, absolutely. And I love how, like, I don't know, she's always calling Jordan and, like, crying to him, which is, like, sweet, you know? Like, that's her boyfriend, he's, like, trying to support her, but, like, Jordan's, like, at home, like, hungover.
Yeah.
Like, listening to her,
yeah.
So we see Lauren Lauren and Jason walking into the movie theater. It's called the Dome ArcLight.
Can I tell you guys about the ArcLight real
Yes.
quick?
Yes, please.
Okay, the ArcLight is directly across the street from where I went to film school in LA.
Oh.
So this was my go-to movie theater. I parked in the parking structure to go to school. Like, I paid to park there because it was across the street. And it's in like a little shopping complex. So there's also like a 24-hour fitness and like a restaurant that has changed to a different restaurant like every year. And but it's so funny because when I first moved there, they would do like little premieres, like movie premieres at the ArcLight, but they were never for like big blockbuster hits. They were always for like Lifetime movies or like direct to like DVD or TV movies. But every now and then there'd be like a celebrity and we'd be like, oh my gosh, it's so-and-so, because like you can see them across the street. And when we first started school, it was like, this is so awesome. We live in Hollywood. There's celebrities right across the street. And then by the time our school year was over, I would be so annoyed if there was like a premiere going on. I'd be like, now I'm gonna have to walk through all these people and there's gonna be traffic getting out of the parking structure. And then like also working out at the 24-hour fitness, you're like, if you worked out, you're all sweaty and then you're coming down and there's like lights and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was just funny seeing that. But I've seen so many movies at that
That's
theater
awesome.
too.
It looks
It's
like a really
so
cool theater.
cool.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it has the big dome room. Like, it has regular theaters, but it does have like where you're in it. I saw the first Hunger Games movie in that
Oh,
theater,
wow.
and it's like
That's awesome.
surrounds you.
Yeah,
So.
that is awesome.
How freaking cool you went to school in LA.
I know. And that's
Yeah.
such like, I feel like that's how you know, like, you really lived in LA, because you're like annoyed by like, you know what I mean? Where, like, I would have been like, oh my God, you know, and you're like, get out of
so
my way.
funny.
I want to like go home.
I know. I'm like, I'm so
Yeah.
tired. Yeah.
That's so funny.
So I was excited to see it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So Lauren and Jason sit down in an almost completely empty theater. And Lauren says, this must be a really good movie. It's packed. And Jason starts laughing, and Lauren tells him, good choice. And Jason says, you're telling me good choice? You picked it out. And she's like hysterically laughing, and she's like, no, I didn't. I thought the scene was really cute, and actually showed like they're, I don't know, like cutesy, like they're in you know? I don't know. I thought it was really cute. So the movie then starts, and then we time jump to after the movie, and Jason is driving Lauren home. And he hugs her when he gets there and tells her, thank you for coming. And Lauren tells him, thank you for taking me. And they hug again. And he says, it's good seeing you. And then he leans in and kisses her.
Bruh, he like grabs her
Yeah.
face, okay?
He grabs her face. Lauren is like a Cheshire cat. She's so excited. Like, she's grinning ear to ear while he kisses her. And then awkwardly, he's like, they pull away and he's like, we should go to dinner sometime. And then like, and then walks off, and Lauren is walking up to her apartment. I'm like, that was so awkward.
Walk her to the door. Why didn't you walk her to
What
the
the
door?
heck?
Kiss her, and we should go to dinner sometime.
How good is that moment though? Because like, you know how we're talking about how it's like there's all this like awkward tension where you're like hanging out but you're not kissing, and then like the moment that it actually happens, it's like, ugh, you know, we're back.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can tell Lauren is just like so excited. She's so happy.
So she's like holding it together, but she wants to like squeal.
There must
you know?
have been some tension during that movie. You know what I mean? Like electric tension, because she was like ready to go. Maybe he didn't walk her to the door because he didn't want to be like a not gentleman and like didn't want to go inside, you know?
He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes when you get to the door, like, it's on, you know?
I mean, he's in at Hardy, so I don't expect him to walk her. But that's what I like to know, you know?
Yes.
Just like pulls up like the Range Rover. He's like, all right, peace.
I know, I expect him to go pick up Alex M next. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Take her to a movie. She was in the same apartment.
Oh my God, you're right.
Maybe that's why he didn't walk her. He was going up to
Ooh.
Alex's apartment next.
You know, though, that Lauren's like gone in, and her and Heidi are going to talk about it all night, and she's going to have like the best sleep just dreaming about like her and Jason again, and just like that time, it's so cute.
It is.
That first, like, I have a crush on somebody and, like, he likes me and we had a really good night together. That first sleep is, like, so good.
Yes.
You're just so happy and, like, everything's good. Yeah. But that is the end of the episode, and I am trying to be positive about this relationship so that I can enjoy myself, but I know it's just, like, downhill from here, you know? So I'm just, like, I'm holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
I feel like because we know that it doesn't last for a very long time, I'm like holding on to every single moment that we have Jason, because it wasn't long enough that he was on screen for me to feel like, oh, he's horrible, like get off my screen.
You're right.
It was so short that I'm like, oh, I wish we got more.
I always feel so awful for her at the beginning of season 2 when they're breaking up.
Oh.
And it's like, because you know that she still loves him.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And, like, I feel like that was her first, like, true love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her first real, like, boyfriend. You know? Like, the first time that somebody, like, you love them, you're sharing a bed with them pretty consistently. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just that first real relationship that you have. And, like, to have it be so adult because of the things that he was doing is, like, I mean, I couldn't have handled that at 20.
Mm-hmm.
So mature though, like so on brand for her to recognize that it's like toxic and to get out at that age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
So
I agree.
This relationship is like, I mean, we all learned with Lauren, right? Like, we learned the warning signs and what not to look for and, like, what toxic was. Like, I mean, people can say what they want, but I mean, I truly learn a lot from reality TV. Watching other people screw up really helps me in my life. All right. Did we have favorite outfits this episode, ladies?
Everything was kind of ugly. But I thought maybe Heidi's work outfit, because she had on like a cute little like cowgirl big brown belt over her dress outfit. So that was mine.
I liked Lauren's top in the first scene at work with the bow, the pink
bow
strap with
tank
the
top.
big bow. Yeah,
that was from a
my
previous
favorite.
episode. Do you guys realize that?
I did, because I said she's in the pink bow tank top again. Yeah,
and Whitney's in the black, same outfit.
Yeah.
I liked Whitney's top when Jason comes into Teen Vogue. Whitney has on like this like bright blue like tunic, and she's got like sequins on it. Never wear it today, but then I would have been all over that top.
Looked like a big caftan, kind of.
Yeah.
Very housewifey.
Yeah. Yes. I liked Lauren's date outfit, not the one she wore to dinner, but the one she wore to the movies. I thought she looked casual and cute. And Heidi's outfit when she's talking to Elodie in the bathroom, the skirt was cute and the belt that just was, it was cute. Normally I think like big brown belts are so ugly, but it actually looked really cute on her. Did anybody have a favorite moment this episode? Mine was really hard to pick because I was just like, this episode is like just all Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I hate it, it's so fun to watch Heidi being a brat about work on TV.
It is fun.
Yes. Yeah, mine was the same. I said just all of her stuff at work and the binders being brought to her, just like the comically large stack of binders. That was great.
I loved that too.
I loved Heidi and Lauren by the pool. Like that opening scene of like Lauren just sitting there in her bathing suit, the big sunglasses that like cover your face on a sidekick. I was like, this is art. Like, put this in the museums, you know? And then like Heidi comes down and they're talking about like Jason. I was like, that's like girlhood right there. You know, I love that.
Girly pop.
Yes.
I'm so annoying. I'm so sorry. I just had that Heidi being a good friend and warning Lauren about Jason, but also not trying to control what she does.
She was so mature.
I thought that was pretty elite. Very mature.
Yeah. I also loved Brent like crushing Heidi's dreams of going to the Palms.
I know.
Like,
we take you, but you're not 21.
Yeah. Perfect. Like that editing, she's just like,
It's so good.
like,
I know. She's so excited. And that is the end of our episode. And I just want to thank Jill for being with us today. We always have so much fun with her. And she was a blast in a glass.
Ooh.
Jersey Shore reference.
Yes.
So thank you so much for coming. And we will have you on again because it's so much fun to have you here.
Yes, I would love to come back.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Jill, do you have a favorite Hills moment? Like an iconic one you always like think about in your mind?
Oh my God, that's so hard. It would maybe be like Homeboy wore combat boots to the beach. Or when Lauren was like clearly absolutely hammered and she was like yelling at Spencer on the phone and she was with Heidi and she's like I had to pick up my best friend. Yeah. And it was like so clear Lauren was like out of her mind.
I love that scene also.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Two really good ones. Or like the tear rolling.
The single black tear.
The single black tear. That's again art.
Adrena. God, this show is so good, you guys.
So good. So good.
So thank you for listening and thank you for tuning in for our special guest, Jill. You can follow her at Jill Bedlotto on Instagram and TikTok. We will see you guys next week.